In an age where conformity often seems like the easiest path to acceptance, Friedrich Nietzsche's philosophy stands as a challenge to the very fabric of societal norms. His concept of individuality, encapsulated in the idea of self-overcoming, is not just a call for personal growth, but a radical rejection of the comfort that comes with being part of the crowd. Nietzsche asks us to question the value of following the herd, urging us to break free from the chains of conventional morality, to redefine ourselves outside the roles society tries to impose. But why does Nietzsche see this as not only important, but necessary for human flourishing? The truth, Nietzsche argues, is not a one-size-fits-all concept dictated by tradition or public opinion. Instead, it is subjective, shaped by individual experience and the will to power. By rejecting the societal imposition of truths, norms, and values, Nietzsche encourages the emergence of a higher form of self, one that thrives on creativity, authenticity, and the courage to face life's inherent challenges. In this essay, we'll explore Nietzsche's focus on individuality and self-overcoming in contrast to societal norms and herd mentality, examining how his view on truth and interpretation plays a central role in his philosophy. Welcome to the Unfolding Journey, where we dive into profound philosophical concepts and unravel timeless wisdom to help us better understand our modern lives. Today's exploration centers on the German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, whose provocative ideas on individuality, truth, and the rejection of societal norms continue to influence contemporary thought. If you've ever felt pressured to conform to societal expectations or wondered about the true meaning of individuality, then stay tuned, because Nietzsche's work has a great deal to offer on these subjects. To fully understand Nietzsche's stance on individuality, we first need to explore his critique of what he terms the herd mentality. Nietzsche describes society as a collective force that imposes uniformity upon its members. The herd is made up of people who passively accept the values, beliefs, and expectations handed to them without ever questioning their validity. Nietzsche saw this as a major obstacle to human flourishing, as the herd mentality stifles creativity, personal growth, and the true expression of one's potential. In Nietzsche's view, the herd is characterized by a desire for comfort and security, a preference for conformity over authenticity. The individual who subscribes to the herd mentality adopts the beliefs and values of society, not out of genuine understanding or conviction, but because it is easier to follow the crowd than to stand alone. This kind of living, according to Nietzsche, is antithetical to human greatness. It prevents people from reaching their highest potential because it asks them to conform to something outside themselves, rather than creating meaning from within. In contrast to the herd mentality, Nietzsche champions the idea of the Übermensch or Overman, a concept that represents the ideal individual who transcends conventional morality and societal norms. The Overman is not merely a product of the society in which they live, but an individual who actively creates their own values and shapes their own destiny. The Overman stands alone, not out of a desire to isolate themselves, but because they have the courage to pursue their own unique path, free from the constraints of herd thinking. At the heart of Nietzsche's philosophy is the concept of self-overcoming. This is the process through which an individual goes beyond the limitations imposed by society, tradition, and even their own past. Self-overcoming involves a continual effort to surpass one's current self, to grow beyond the restrictions of convention, and to create something new out of one's own will. Self-overcoming is not a singular event, but rather a lifelong process of transformation. Nietzsche believed that humans should not be content with merely surviving or existing within the structures of society. Instead, they should strive to continually improve themselves, to become more than what they are. The process of self-overcoming demands strength, perseverance, and a willingness to confront discomfort, for it is only through struggle and challenge that we can grow and evolve. For Nietzsche, the act of self-overcoming is essential for the realization of the Übermensch. The Overman is someone who has transcended traditional moralities and societal expectations, someone who has created their own values through the exercise of their will to power. This process of self-overcoming is what allows individuals to create meaning and purpose in their lives, independent of external influences. One of Nietzsche's most controversial and enduring ideas is his stance on truth. In contrast to traditional philosophical views that regard truth as an objective, universal reality, Nietzsche argues that truth is inherently subjective and interpretive. For him, truth is not something that is handed down from on high, nor is it a static concept to be discovered. Rather, truth is shaped by individuals, cultures, and power dynamics. Nietzsche famously declared that there are no facts, only interpretations. This statement encapsulates his view that truth is not a fixed entity, but something that is constantly in flux, created through the lens of personal and collective perspectives. Traditional notions of truth, particularly those based on religious or moral foundations, are, according to Nietzsche, the result of historical and cultural forces that have shaped our understanding of the world. These truths are not objective realities, but interpretations that serve particular interests, often those of the powerful. This perspective on truth has profound implications for Nietzsche's philosophy of individuality. If truth is not a universal, objective reality, then the individual is free to interpret the world according to their own experiences, desires, and will. The individual is no longer bound by the truths imposed by society, religion, or tradition. Instead, they are free to create their own truths, to forge their own path in life. This freedom is central to Nietzsche's notion of the Overman, for it is only by breaking free from societal truths that one can fully realize their potential. For Nietzsche, the act of interpreting the world is intimately connected with the will to power, a central concept in his philosophy. The will to power refers to the fundamental drive within all living beings to assert themselves, to expand their influence, and to shape the world according to their desires. It is through the exercise of the will to power that individuals create meaning in their lives and engage in the process of self-overcoming. Interpretation is an expression of the will to power, for when we interpret the world, we impose our own perspective onto it. Nietzsche suggests that all interpretations are acts of will, in which the individual asserts their view of the world, reshaping it in the image of their desires and values. The will to power is what drives individuals to challenge the status quo, to reject conventional truths, and to create new meanings and values that reflect their unique experiences and perspectives. This dynamic interplay between truth, interpretation, and the will to power highlights Nietzsche's rejection of objective, universal truths. For him, there is no single, correct way to view the world. Instead, there are countless ways to interpret reality, each shaped by the individual's will to power. The key to living an authentic life, then, is not to search for an objective truth, but to embrace the freedom to interpret the world in a way that aligns with one's own values and desires. Nietzsche's relationship with truth is intricately tied to his broader views on power and interpretation. If truth is subjective and shaped by the individual's will to power, then our understanding of the world is never neutral. Our interpretations of reality are always informed by our desires, values, and the power structures within which we operate. The question, then, is not whether a truth is right or wrong, but whether it serves the individual's will to power and contributes to their self-overcoming. In this sense, Nietzsche challenges traditional notions of objective truth and calls for a more dynamic, individualistic approach to understanding the world. Truth in Nietzsche's philosophy is not a fixed or universal reality, but a fluid and subjective interpretation, constantly shifting and evolving in response to the individual's will and perspective. Friedrich Nietzsche's emphasis on individuality and self-overcoming offers a profound challenge to the societal norms and herd mentality that often constrain human potential. By rejecting the conventional truths and values that are handed down by society, Nietzsche encourages individuals to embrace their own will to power, to create their own values, and to engage in the continuous process of self-overcoming. Truth for Nietzsche is not a static reality, but an evolving interpretation shaped by the individual's desires and experiences. This radical vision of individuality and the relationship between truth and interpretation invites us to confront the herd mentality and live more authentically, creating meaning and purpose from within. If you found this video engaging and thought-provoking, don't forget to subscribe to the Unfolding Journey YouTube channel for more deep dives into powerful philosophical concepts. Join us as we continue to explore ideas that can help us live more meaningful, fulfilling lives. Thank you for being part of this unfolding journey toward understanding and personal growth.